Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Sending off my message and then doing my usual little jumping back and forth and waiting for Instagram to come on. But hello, welcome. And Rebecca, jumping in like I was wondering if you could see me because sending out the message and then it's like it's about 10 minutes to go yet. And here we go with Instagram. All right. So it was kind of funny because I was like, can she see me? I better not be like picking my nose or something. Anyways, and Elise and Karen, hello. Good to see you guys. It's always, it's kind of nice to have that little pause week because then it feels like, oh, hello, it's so nice. It just a little bit more, feel like we haven't seen each other for as long. So you always get feel always a little bit more enthusiastic than when it's regular. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out this Instagram window here. And okay, I'm just going to leave it as is because I can't figure it out. I want to position it so I can see if somebody comes on. There we go. Because I'm doing this with two different windows open because Restream cannot do it directly through Instagram because Instagram is saying no, you can't do it. And Glenna, oh hello Glenna, gosh, you've been popping in, and it's nice to see you. I wasn't sure if I'd be seeing you again, but good to see you. So settle in where you are and take a look around and bring to mind, well, first let's settle in. Let's just settle in. And then I'll ask that next question. Feel your body, feel your environment, feel where you are. And Tanya, hello. See you too. Yes, good to see you. Yeah, the message, it's interesting. I have to see how it's pretty close, but there seems to be a little lag. So sometimes it's kind of have to be patient to get the response back. Settling into your breath and just letting it settle, bringing your awareness into your chest and just feeling your breath wherever it is, I have the headset on today because it's not helping me. Hopefully it's helping you. Just because I have the window open because it's warm enough and the humid. So the air is really heavy here when there's no air circulation. So noticing that breath and wherever it's at, just notice what comes up. Yeah. And if it feels a little jagged or a little off, El Zaba, hello. The whole gang is here, more or less. The main core group here. It's good to see you guys. That chime clock. Yeah. All right. I don't know what those messages were for, but you might not love it so much if you were hearing it all the time, half hour and on the hour, 24/7. Just saying. And then dropping your awareness down to your lower abdomen and breathing from that place. So allowing your breath to just kind of deepen and expand by dropping your awareness down to your lower abdomen. And see if there's a difference. Maybe there's some more tension in the lower abdomen. Maybe there's more tension at the top. It depends if we're holding anything, any old stuff in either of those areas. Beautiful space, yeah. Very, very nice and calm. So this is good. I'm going to bring up something. Um, letting everybody settle in. Okay. So just feel where you're at right now. And then bring to mind maybe something that someone has said or has done recently that's just kind of tweaked you a little bit. And maybe you didn't respond, maybe you did, but just bring that up. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. That's bringing up some good stuff. Yeah. And feel how that, oh, Sydney. No, it was Rebecca. Okay, I'm sorry if I said Sydney earlier. Rebecca came in at the beginning. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Sydney. And just feel how that just shifted you. And it's almost like, generally speaking, it's like everybody's nice in here, and then all of a sudden, and there's a split that goes right through. And so there's these two get kind of split yourself in half. So notice that. Just be aware of that. We come here to yeah, eventually feel good, but we come here also with the willingness to go through what skews us, because we have the space to do that here. Yeah. People are really interesting. So I bring that up because right before I was just on a group chat, and this is had a little interaction about 2-3 weeks back on somebody, and she didn't like the way I was saying something, and she kept trying to get me to not necessarily apologize, but come back on it. And I was like, try to back down, and I was just saying, just let it go. I mean, it's just, I had said you, I had commented on one of her said and you, unfortunately in English is like either it's general you, meaning you all, or you, a specific you person. And she was taking it personally. I said, you is like, what do you mean by that? I was like, you as in you all, like in anybody, everybody. And so anyway, so she was trying to make fun of something I said yesterday. And you have to, so it's kind of, I was laughing at that. So I'm bringing that up because, these people will not like who we are. There's no way around that. And people will not like what we do and what we say, especially if you're one of those people who are mirrors for, and we're all kind of mirrors for each other, but there's some of us who would just really do that very strongly, and I'm one of those people. And so you have to laugh at that, yeah? So feel into that. I'm brimming with questions today. Shall save them for later. Okay, just hang on for that. Hang on to your questions. Yeah, feel that question. So that's good. We'll see. Well, let's kind of move through this and feel that tweaking, because you're not wrong, and people try to make you wrong because they're finding themselves in a place of that ambiguity about, and that question on themselves is like, well, gosh, maybe, I need to be right. And when you get into that game, it's that polarity. It's an issue of polarity and right or wrong. And some people just have a particular type of wounding when they're growing up at a particular age, and it's about, in bioenergetics model, it's about adolescence and just the dynamics that come through, and the wounding that comes up at that age. And you find yourself in this place that either you're right or you're wrong. And if somebody says something that is right, then you're automatically going to feel wrong, and you have to kind of attack back, or say something back to put yourself back in the right, even when they have said absolutely nothing to say, you're wrong, this is right. And you just say something, and you're just expressing an opinion, and they instantly, because of that inner polarity dynamic with them between right and wrong, they have to, they will feel themselves in the wrong, because it's got to be one or the other. And if it's this is right, then and I'm over here, then it's got to mean I'm wrong. And need to shift out of that, and will do something to put themselves back in the right. So I don't know if this makes sense to you, but I'm sure all of you have probably experienced that at some point or another. So taking a deep breath in, and maybe that's not it, but that split, we end up splitting ourselves, because there's also little pieces of the religious paradigm where, we can't be wrong, because if we're wrong, then we're not going to go to heaven. I mean, our consciousness doesn't go to that place, but at deep inside, there's that subconscious drive of, I've got to be saved, I've got to be good, I've got to be, and good meaning right. So take a deep breath in. And as I'm talking, I'm seeing that splice just kind of slowly melting down. Yes, it makes sense. Yeah. So if watch that for yourselves after the session, and just notice if there's that tension of, where you feel like you've been made wrong, and maybe you haven't. So maybe it's just coming up because it's that dynamics that's at play. And ultimately, step out of that either right or wrong place. It's like, sometimes, yes, we can definitely say, no, this is definitely wrong, but maybe not as much as we think we can. And say, well, so it's not about me being right or wrong. It's like, I know I'm not wrong, but I'm not going to insist on making myself right. I'm just going to acknowledge that for myself, at least within myself, saying, well, I know I'm not wrong. And then it shifts into, I'm not going to make myself wrong so that the other person can feel right. And sometimes that takes, that becomes this play, like this woman was trying to get me to do, is to apologize, or to say, oh no, you're right, kind of kowtow, and oh, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. And just holding that for yourself strongly, and not getting into that dynamic of trying to make them wrong or make yourself wrong, and finding that maybe a bigger view, which for me, I just said, it's just let this go. It's not worth holding on to, because it really isn't. Most of the stuff really isn't. Yeah. So let's take a deep breath in. Yeah. So that's sliding out. So getting out of that dynamic of right or wrong. A lot of times it's just the angle we're looking at something, and you shift over to how they're seeing it. If you can give yourself that space, or realizing that they're not even seeing it at all. And they're not even in that place at all. They're just making a comment, just came out, and that's it. And you're taking it the wrong way. And everything is right, everything is wrong. It all depends on circumstances. It all depends on what's most appropriate in the moment. I if you think about every single person on this planet has their perspective. They're all part of the whole of existence. And then we're just sticking to this planet, right? And it's like every single person is a set of eyes, a set of ears, on an experience. Got 8 billion different perspectives on existence. We can't all be right, and we cannot all be wrong either. So, yeah, deep breath in. Deep breath in. Feeling that you can, and feel both right and wrong at the same time. So let's do that. We've done this before. Oh, I know, it was on the heart thing. Heart special. So take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and then just release it. And come back into your breathing, settling down. And take a moment to feel yourself as right, being in that position of being right. And it's something that you know for sure you were right. It's like you counted the number of apples and there were 4 apples, whatever it was. Whatever it was, it was clear you were right. And just have that sense of being right. Hold that. And not get too righteous about it, but just that knowingness, I know I'm right. I know I had what I did or what I said was right. Okay, feel that, yeah. Okay. Take a really big deep breath and then just release it out. Okay, come back into your body. Feel your body for a minute. Feel your breath. Come into your breath. Then feel that being wrong. There's all had that possibility in our lives to be in a place where we're wrong about something. Yeah, you just believe something or you thought you saw something a certain way. And so feeling like, oh, it's wrong. That's amazing how much more stuff that brings up for people. There's a little bit of the righteousness that comes up with the right. It's like, no, damn it, I know it's right. And with the wrong, there's guilt, there's shame, there's embarrassment that comes up. So that's fine. Let's just release those. Let's clear those out. And just that sense of being wrong. And it's like, whoops, just kind of more, lighten that up. Take out all those other things that come up with it. So it's just about being wrong. No attachment, no judgment. Just, I was wrong. There we go. And then feel that, so that feels more balanced there. That feels more, whoops, okay. So it goes, yeah. Okay, take a deep breath in, exhale that out, coming into your body. And coming back to your breath. Okay. On your dominant hand, right or left, whichever one, or let's just forget that. Let's get everybody doing the same thing. Sorry. On your right hand, put that feeling of being right. Now just hold it there. So it's in your hand, what you were feeling in your hand, external to yourself. You can kind of look at it from the external, have a little bit of an external observer feel to it. Yeah. Yeah, that's already opening some stuff for people. That's good. All right. And then just kind of put it aside a little bit, still in your hand, but maybe move your hand to the side, and then put your left hand in front of you, and in that hand, that feeling of being wrong that you've felt. Okay, not the shame. Remember, not the shame. I'm leaving that behind. You've got some shame coming up, Glenna, around that. It feels like it's around your education when you were growing up, being wrong. So let's put the shame aside. It's just that piece about, oh, you thought it was this? Or it's just yeah, just the no judgment, just that feeling wrong. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna sit with this one a little bit because that the wrong thing brings up a lot for people. So that's okay. That's what we're here for. Ha! So releasing all that and just leaving that sense of wrong. It's like, you know, there we go. Okay. So feeling that wrong and that it's like, whoops, it's just basically, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I didn't see that quite right. Or, all right, feel that. Okay, so move that so you have both hands now in front of you. And just get a sense from the outside and feel that right on the right hand and that wrong on the left hand. No implications for the left or right here. Just two hands. We got to put something somewhere. And feel those. Let that just feel how they feel. And then slowly move your hands together like I'm doing. And then bring them together, allowing that right and wrong to just blend in together. And just breathe out 3 times. Feeling those energies of right and wrong mixing together, blending, swirling together. And then opening up your hands and look in the palm of your hands and see what you have. Then an image comes to mind. Something rising out of the union of the two. See how that feels. Feel that balance. Generally, there's a balance. There's like this third. It's interesting because for me, the image is like the Lady of the Lake from Lancelot. King Arthur? Lancelot? Maybe it's King Arthur. Rising up out of that. So it becomes this more neutral state of being, yeah? And feeling that balance, seeing that image, hopefully your eyes are still closed, and then just feeling that and open your eyes, and as you open your eyes, seeing that image with open eyes too. Bring that, anchoring that into your being, yeah. So that's not a green leaf and a soft texture fur is what came to mind. Yeah, whatever, hey, it's great. Whatever comes to mind is that symbolism is for you. You know, there's a lot. There's like new green. You know, that feels like a new something new, but that softness. So very nice. Yeah, shame is huge in connection with wrong, and if we can step away from that, then it's a hell of a lot easier to say, yeah, I guess I was wrong in that one, and just kind of like, oh, okay, redirect. kind of thing. So how did that feel for you guys? I had no idea we are going to be doing this. Does that feel more balanced? Does that feel more kind of neutral? Can you feel both in there at the same time? And it's like, okay, I'm okay with being right and as well as wrong. We can't always be right. We're not God, you know. And maybe even God is wrong, you know. Who knows? That's part of the experience of existence, is being wrong. And in, you know, when you think of the Vedic traditions, and because I know it, of that God, or that state of oneness, wanting to know itself, needing to experience everything that is being expressed in existence in order to know itself. What am I protecting myself from when I feel anxious, frustrated, or resistant to information that challenge my current understanding of myself or my relationships? Really good question. Sit with that one for a little bit, okay? Feel into that. Feel into that for yourself, so you get good answers for yourself. So I'll come back to that, but I want you to sit with that for a little bit for yourself. I got mud, which is clay, possibility to make something new. Yes. Love that. Yes. Very nice. So good. I like that image of mud, you know, because it's, you think usually it's like black and white is that duality, polarity of right and wrong, black and white. You know, it's black and white. It's like, and then coming together and you get this mud. I like that. And and the sense, and that was really nice, that sense of being able to take that and make it into something, anything, making it into something new. So brought up trauma that was done to me by, yes, I'm sorry. That was done to me by a teacher in kindergarten that caused much shame. Thank you for the session today. Healing is lifelong. Yes, it is. Oh, music is coming on. It's I hit the wrong button, so on my, let me close this out. It's going to take a minute because it wants me to sign in, and I don't want to sign in. So yeah, that was soft cloud floating by. So really good. Yeah, very nice. And feeling that, you know, it's very nice imagery there. Yeah, I tell you, I had stuff happen to me when I was pre-kindergarten, because this was when we were in France before I started kindergarten for a couple of years. Being the outside kid, our family was, because we were definitely not local. I mean, we spoke French, but we didn't have that the right accent kind of thing. And we all of a sudden appear, so people don't want to believe the new kid on the block, and especially the kid that's different. But then, yeah. So when we take all of that extra stuff out, it's okay to be wrong. It's like, it's just something that happens. It's like you scrape your knee. It's like, whoops, okay, let's get up and move on. Anything else for anybody that wants to share? Okay, so while people are sharing, if you care to, let me go back to Zava. What am I protecting myself from when I feel anxious, frustrated, resistant to information that challenges my current understanding of myself? Okay. So feel into that current understanding of myself. Let's take one at a time here. Feel into that. And feel that certainty that you feel about having in that understanding of yourself. Can you have a sense of that, I think? And I'll go to the rest of the comments here. So feel that. And so we feel really certain about how we are. You know, this is really who I am. I know myself. And then all of a sudden, somebody presents something different. And yeah, feeling that anxiety or frustrated, resistant, because underneath that layer of that certainty of this is who I am, there's a couple things that are there. There's that sense of, well, this is who I am currently, and this is what I feel comfortable with. And maybe I don't know all of who I am, but there's that need to, in that moment, to hold on to that for whatever reason, because it feels comfortable, it feels safe. So if you don't feel safe, all of a sudden, if there's something that challenges what makes you feel safe, the anxiety is gonna come up. Frustration, if all of a sudden that comes up, what's presented to you is putting a question mark and saying, well, maybe you don't know all of yourself. So that might bring up some frustration, which frustration is a little bit of like a type of anger, or resistance to that information. So just take that in, notice that, come back to it later. It might not be too easy in the moment, but come back to it later and ask yourself, okay, what is that about? Maybe they're right. It's usually when I've had that resistance come up for me, it's like because I want to see myself a certain way, and I want to feel safe in that. I want to feel sure in that. And when you're changing a lot, when you're going through a lot of changes, especially like we all are right now, yeah, it's nice to have that a little bit of stability or sense of stability. And that stability is really going to come when you can just be like that kite in the wind and just be blowing. Allow yourself to just float with the wind. It's like one time you're this, the other time you're that. And that flexibility to shift according to the situation. Challenges my courage. And then the same with the relationship. So it's the same kind of thing. If that makes sense for you. Okay. Let's see. There was Elise. I went to a rich environment in the power of nature completely, with violence and the tragedy as well as inspiring awe. Wow, that's an amazing image. Yeah, taking that in, because that's pretty good. I am a nobody is also, yes. Anything is an identity. I am a nobody is an identity, because the opposite is actually also true. So you hold on to that one moment, and maybe in that moment, so holding on to those identities when they serve, and in that moment to just be that nobody, it can serve when you know a lot of information and somebody is up there giving a presentation or leading the group and you've got more information than they do. It's like stepping back into, I'm a nobody in that situation, allowing them to learn and grow in their experience. Yeah. So I have to go back to this one, Elise. I went to a rich environment in the power nature completely, with the violence and tragedy as well as inspiring awe. Yeah. Yeah, and that yes, that makes sense. Thank you, Marianne. Okay. And so feel yourself in that, in what I've said. Really take that in for yourself and see if there's more that, unravels for you. It brings deeper awareness for you with that. Yeah, very nice. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we can hang out for a little bit more. Let's see who had questions. Sydney, I think you always have the questions, which is good. Got a lot of questions. Got a searching mind, and everybody's got a lot of questions, but it's like, yeah, there we go, questions. Pick your liveliest question. Everybody's got good questions. Sometimes they're just, yeah, power of nature. Yes, right. And yeah, so that in nature, yeah, and I was catching that more as I was reading it the second time, where we see and we feel like it's violence, where there's that one animal killing another, it's very violent. And that tragedy, like, what comes to mind with that is like these bees getting attacked by wasp in their nests, and we feel that sense of tragedy when they get totally taken over, and with their hives and all that. And all of that is part of nature. Yeah. I was in a call with someone over the weekend in the PS who I had a traumatic stay with in 23. All right, that was a while ago. First time we'd seen each other, been trying to contact her, but having all sorts of problems. Is a connection needed? I said I wanted to. I said I needed. I said what I needed to say to her on the energetic level with my eyes closed. I felt so strongly that I had to verbalize it to her. This clearly came up to be purified and released now. Um, yeah, sometimes we come back to those connections, like in that case where there's something that needs to be expressed. And there's so many different ways of doing that. You can do it internally, where you see the person in front of you and you do it internally and put it out there. But sometimes you have to take that extra step to do it in the physical. Because that has a way of really enlivening those little tensions, right? Those little frictions, and enlivening that uneasiness in us. And so stepping into that place of unease and expressing what you need to express, and I'm just going to assume that you expressed it in a balanced way, and that has to be heard. And that person is there to receive it from you also. So recognize that aspect of that person in the exchange, that whatever her response is, but at that deeper level, it's that person's kind of stepping up to the plate for you to have that moment of stepping into a deeper vulnerability for yourself, kind of thing. Is the connection needed? Just let it be. And if it's needed, it will come up again. You'll find yourself going forward. But for the time being, just it's like, okay, I've done what I've needed to do, and maybe that's all that's needed. Maybe it might come to more. It depends. It depends, both parties where the two want it, where the two want to take it. Because when it happens, I notice a block. It makes me feel itchy and constipated. Frequency wise, yes, right. No, totally. You're just got something going. So yes, just like your gut going when you're constipated. Absolutely. So notice that and just breathe into that and allow yourself to open up more. And sometimes, in the moment, we not necessarily strong enough in the moment to do that. So come back to it later. It's like, all right, let me go back through this and feel into being in that place and help yourself open up and see what that tightening is all around and about, and see what you need to, rectify for yourself. Notice that programs. It's like, hey, let's rectify this and allow yourself to flow. So good. Yeah. I mean, you're good at noticing stuff. All of you are, for yourselves. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Another question. I have been getting nosebleeds since I was a kid, much less severe than they used to be, but still happens right before or during a heat wave. It seems to be physiological too. Why is this? Good question. Let's see. Heat wave. Well, yeah, I remember getting nosebleeds when I was a kid. It's funny, there's just a period, it seems like kids just go through that, at some age, there's a lot of nosebleeds. Um, there's a, what's coming to mind to say is there's a, essential oil, and I looked it up the other day because I was telling a friend about this essential oil, gum rock rose essential oil to stop that. Gum rock rose. And I'd heard of rock rose with flower essences, but in the States, I've never heard of rock rose as essential oil, but in France, they have it. It happened two ladies in this group a few weeks ago, and we were watching an OG event. I was not overheated or dehydrated was causing this. Main Street doctors never found a solution. Okay, so there's a solution. and rock rose, yeah, when I looked up the name, it's gum rock rose. It's a and there's, I think heliochrysum is probably also one that will, but definitely gum rock rose. Stop the bleeding. I'm let me sit with this a little longer because physical stuff I'm not really as good at. Occasionally, yes, but there's a little bit of trauma to cistus flower. Yes, that's the French name, cistus labendiferus. There's a sense of trauma, so you might not feel dehydrated, but yeah, there is a dryness with the and overheated. Yeah, so we're getting into the elemental balance here. Your whole body might not be overheated, but your head could be more heat in your head, which will create dryness. And I would also, yes, cistus I don't know how to say it in English, ladenifer. So that would be the one, yes. There's a sense of like kind of some kind of trauma to the head. So sorry, that's about as much as I can get on that one. Okay. And some of it is like, for some reason there's a little pressure on the skin, not the skin, but the surface, and that's just thin enough, and then something just kind of ruptures it, kind of thing. And even what happens with tissue when it dries out, whether it's in your nose or your gut, like your IBS and that kind of stuff. It's like the tissues are getting dry, and so as they dry, if you think of that image of like that really parched land that has not seen rain in months and months and months, and it's all cracked and everything. And when the land is hydrated, then everything, you don't have all those cracks. Everything is kind of together. So that's what all that is. I will sit with that. Thank you. I may ask Jacqueline. Yeah, I didn't see anything when I opened my hands. Not sure why. Take a deep breath in and feel into that nothingness. Just feel that nothingness. And what's that feel like to you? So everybody, this is a really good one because that can happen to all of us anytime, all the time, to get that nothing. but feel into that nothing. And just that openness. Feel, and when I feel you into that place of that nothing, and just feel that just that openness and that softness that's there. Can you feel that, Tanya? Can you feel into that open, and that not sure why you have that little habit of that uncertainty in yourself thing. So, but just feel that nothing in your hand. That's a beautiful one, actually. You feel into that. Sometimes happens when I sneeze too. Yeah, yeah. So the sneezing will, because the sneezing will, that people get aneurysms from sneezing too hard, because there's a pressure that builds and kind of ruptures the skin of the vein kind of thing. It's not called skin, but you know what I mean. Also, pitta dominant with imbalances in kapha and vata. Yeah, so pitta. Wow, I can see nature and how they calibrate with each other. Very beautiful. Okay, where's this coming from? That's a nice one. I can see nature and how they calibrate with each other. Very beautiful. Yeah, very nice. I'm not, because you're saying nature, but you're saying they calibrate with each other. Oh, you're talking about uh, right and wrong. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. And so that's a nice one to see, calibrate. They come together. So Tanya, do you have that sense of when you feel into, there's that nothing, feel that nothingness. What do you feel? See if I can get an answer from her before we end. And while I remember, while we're pausing here for the response, I'm going to put up my little QR code. I never remember very often, but here it is. And so with everybody, I'm going to bring this up with what Tanya's saying, but with everybody, I don't see anything when I open my hands and not sure why. So watch that questioning of yourself. It's like, I'm outside with plants. Okay, yeah. Um, that questioning with, I'm not sure why this is happening. Everybody else is getting an image. We've all been there. I've been there. I have been there. And so looking at what you have, just what you have, and if nothing is what you have, feel into that nothing. Nothing, that's the void, that's the emptiness. What is in that? Because that is so rich. And what does it feel like when you just tune into that, when you kind of just be present with that? Thank you so much for your help. I know I came in with a lot today. That's fine. You come in with enthusiasm, like everybody here. I love you guys. Let's come in with the enthusiasm and the interest in being here. So I haven't heard back from Tanya. So hopefully, Tanya, that will help you. But for all of us, also, just that being present with just that nothingness, that emptiness, that void. Because if we can't hold that place for ourselves, if we can't allow ourselves to come into that stillness, that nothing, you're always on the go, you're always on the run, you're always chasing after something, you're always moving away towards something. And you need to be able to come into that stillness. And that stillness will feel like emptiness, that will feel like a void, will feel like a nothing. And being able to sit there, because 7,999,999,000 people are always trying to move away from that, being in that stillness and that nothingness. So allowing yourself to be with that nothing. Forget everybody else. Don't look at what they have in their hands. Just don't bother. Feel into your hands. It's your gift. It's your gift from yourself, or your higher self, your subconscious mind, that inner part of you that's in you, this. And when you think about it, it's neither right nor wrong. It's neither one or the other. It's just that openness to everything. So just as good as anybody else's stuff. You get the answer you need. And the wanting to have something is often connected to feeling like that there's nothing, you weren't given something, you didn't get what you needed, and feeling that emptiness. But in that emptiness that you feel inside is kind of the empty from lack, right? um, and moving beyond that lack to that emptiness, which is the whole of existence. Thanks so much. Energy moved through me. I feel like I'm outside Plato's cave. That's cute. I've been verbalizing my intimate relations piece too. Thank you. I speak to several men on an energetic level. Feels lighter, like laughing. Okay. Wow, I'm not even sure what it means. Which means I don't know. Oh, Plato's cave. All right. Well, a lot of insight, and I'm taking that as a lot of insight and knowingness coming through you, to you. So very good, very good. Thank you everybody for showing up and having a wonderful time like we always do. So let me get my calendar out. Next time, not next week, but the week after. And I think that's going to be July, because yes, July 1st. July 1st. So that will be our next live time with us, with each other. And until then, we'll see you in the ethers next week. You show up. I do. Oh, it's bringing me another point. So last, don't be hesitant about coming into the space and feeling maybe hesitant because I missed the last 5 minutes. Okay. So Tanya, I was wondering about, feeling into that nothingness, feeling into that empty hands that you think you got, and what is in that empty. Feel that empty. Feel that, maybe you got whammed in too much thrown at you, and maybe it is nice to have nothing, so that it can be anything. So on the weeks off, like, because it came up last week, I can see people are like kind of hesitant, and hesitant, like, can I do this? Can I, joining in, come in and take that time on our offline days, to have that courage to step forward for yourself, and say, okay, I'm going to do this for myself. It's a little, it's, you kind of have that practice with, for those of you who are doing the Oracle Girl Sunday thing. But it's different because you really got to stand on your own a lot more with my thing. Different, it's a different context. And so it challenges you a little bit more to be, all right, I got to take charge myself here. Many thanks from people. Thank you, Elzaba. Thank you, Chu. Thank you, Karen, from Tanya, Elise, and Glenna. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all so much for showing up. It's always fun. We always have a good time. And until July 1st, back here live, and in the ethers next time. So take care, everybody. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you in the ethers and live next time. Take care, everybody.